We're at the racetrack today and we have two Suzukis with us, both brand new for 2017. This is the one with the higher specification, the 2017 Suzuki GSX-R1000R. And you'll also see a black bike in the story. That's the R1000 ABS, slightly lower specification, slightly lower price. I can tell you this, I've already spent some time with these bikes today. They're superb.
The GSX-R, or Gixxer as we know it, has a long history. During the recent recession though, Suzuki chose to focus elsewhere, and this from-scratch update has been a long time coming. But Suzuki's goal was to create a motorcycle that rivaled the other bikes while sticking to its guns, and that's torque, usability and lightness. In the fiercely competitive world that is the top flight sports bike, that's a brief that leads to an all-new motorcycle.
So the motorcycle is all new and I just wanted to show you just how small 202 PS liter class 4-cylinder motorcycles have become, because this is the back end of the motorcycle. The pillion pad is literally as big as my hand, the taillight is this kind of tiny. In fact, the whole motorcycle is very small. But that's not really a problem, because when you think about it, it's the fact that it is this small that allows a lot of riders to just get along with it.
But small motorcycles do not automatically become easy. As the saying goes, making a powerful engine is the easiest thing in the world. Making big power and making it easy to use, on the other hand, that's science and art.
So that's the all-new engine. They've increased the bore, they've reduced the stroke, the displacement goes up slightly in the process. A 999.8 cc engine. You can't get closer to 1000 cc really. Titanium valves, but the point and the talking point for this engine really are the variable valves. So what they've done is they've got a small system with ball bearings that changes the timing sometime after 10,000 RPM. The actual figure is confidential, and it allows Suzuki to play with the motorcycle, give it a fat mid-range and then a screaming top end. It's all new, and that means new frame and new suspension as well. And the suspension to me totally differentiates the basic model from the R model. So the basic model gets big piston forks and they're very good. But the R with the balance-free forks and the balance-free rear is just in another level altogether, because they are fully adjustable and all that. But the racetrack is in bad shape this time, especially the last part of this track, which is really bumpy and it's really hard to work. But with the balance-free forks, it does seem to have a sense of comfort and absorbency that the big piston doesn't have, and that changes your ability to push the motorcycle. It changes your ability to feel confident about the motorcycle. And honestly, if I had the money, there's a difference of about I think 3 lakh rupees between the two motorcycles. I would totally pay the money if it was in my budget.
The base model is excellent in its own right too, but compared to the R, you feel like the suspension is 1 or 2 notches behind, and it makes you work a bit harder over the bumpy sections, which affects the overall performance. What I'm saying is that the A model is going to feel very impressive until you ride the R and realize what the next step up is. And full credit to Showa then for being on top of the game with the suspension on both of the Suzukis. So, flawless? Well, not really. The glaring error of judgment on the Suzuki to me are the rubber brake hoses on both the models. At track pace, the Brembos rapidly showed fade and I had to pump the brakes into every corner. It's an easy fix with braided lines really, but the customer is going to have to do that, which is very strange, but to me not a deal breaker. The other issue is about the feel. The Suzuki is so buttery smooth and controlled that you keep thinking that a motorcycle this capable and this powerful should feel a little more lively and dramatic. But the flip side of that coin is that the Suzuki feels like a sports bike I literally could ride every day. It's something that almost none of the other competitive sport bikes care to do anymore.
So two 2017 Suzuki GSX-R1000s. The base model is 19 lakhs ex-showroom and it's very nice. But the R model is where my heart is. It's 22 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees more. This suspension alone is worth its weight in gold. Stay tuned to OVERDRIVE. We will be road testing these motorcycles soon. They will be out in the real world, outside the racetrack, where I think between the suspension and how versatile this engine is, they will be good street bikes.